and welcome to Your Stocks in the Mumbai News Studio. I'm Ekta Batra. Well, it's turning out to be a great day for the markets. No complaints coming in. The Nifty is up around 120 odd points. We have the Bank Nifty, which is up around 631 odd points. I think the street is liking the stability in the markets. And remember, it's important to note that it is ahead of the general election outcome and verdict as well. Well, joining us today, we have Manish Hathiramani of Dayal Investments talking about the fundamentals of the market. Astha Jain here talking about at Hem Securities, talking about the fundamentals as well. Manish, in fact, will give us an update on the technicals. Afternoon, Manish as well as Astha, welcome to the show. Well, it's turning out to be a great start to the week. So, Manish, let's kick it off with you. Just wanted your thoughts in terms of what you're seeing in the markets. What would your technical call be on the Nifty now?
So, Ekta, thank you so much for having me on the show. And I've been discussing over the last 15 days, we continue to be bullish on this market. We've made a very good support around the 21,900 to 22,000 mark. I still feel we have more steam left. 23,300 to 23,400, I feel it could prove to be a very stiff resistance. I would go into this show while I'm on my way there. Until then, any buyers in.
Okay, all right. Well, anything particular for the Bank Nifty that you're tracking?
Well, Bank Nifty continues to surge, continues to look good. While I have been concentrating on the Nifty, I have a view on the Bank Nifty more only after we pass the levels of 49,500, which we have to do. But I would like it to even close above that level. So if we be able to do that, I think 50,600, which is 506.77. That should be the next level to watch out for.
Okay, all right. Well, let's get in some queries now. We have Abhishek Sharma, who writes to us from New Delhi, holds 20 shares of PNB, which he's bought at 30 odd rupees. Wants to know the future prospects of his investment. He's sitting on a good profit at this point in time. Well, Astha, let's toss it across to you. PNB bought at 30. Do you think that there's further upside?
Hi, good afternoon. Yes, talking about this counter, we feel that there is a further upside, so recommending hold on that line with a price target of around 145 to 150. Talking about this counter, management has guided of around 11 to 12% credit growth, so very good from our side. Apart from that, if we take about the NIMs also, so we think that NIMs will also be maintained by management in the coming future at around 2.9 to 3%. So that is also a positive sign, and the asset quality is what is really comforting us right now. And we believe that management will able to maintain this sort of asset quality. And that is why we are positive on this counter, recommending a hold. I think there is no need to take out the profit at this juncture. Remain invested in the counter with the ultimate price target of 145 to 150.
Okay, all right. Well, would you have a call on the technicals, Manish, of PNB?
Well, since the acquisition is low, one can continue holding on to the stock, but it would be prudent from a technical perspective to have a trailing stop loss so that we can protect the capital. 115 is a good support for the stock, and if that breaks, he can exit thereafter. Until then, 180 should be a potential target.
Okay, 180 should be a potential target until then. We have Rahul Bajaj, who writes to us from New Delhi. He holds 5 lakh shares of LIC, which he's bought at 600. Wants to know what to do, if he can buy more shares and wait for the stock fall. So he's sitting on a bit of a profit. Numbers to come out tomorrow. What would you recommend on, or numbers are due this week? What would you recommend, Astha, on LIC?
I think we are expecting numbers to come out today, if I'm not wrong with my study. So I think it will be on 27th as was given on the BSE website. So today might be, we can expect the numbers. So LIC is looking good to us. First of all, recommendation is continue to hold this counter with a price target of 1175 at the ultimate levels. Talking about this counter, we are expecting strong numbers. First of all, the AUM, which is managed by this company, is the highest, we should say, in the life insurance business. So again, the strong AUM, they have a strong agent base, and the way companies performing, they have shown strong financial performance in the quarter gone by, and similar performances are expected from this counter going ahead. Recommending a hold with a price target of 1175.
Well, yes, absolutely. The numbers are due today and not tomorrow. That's my mistake. But Manish, what would your recommendation be on LIC in terms of the technicals?
Well, I have a similar view, just that I feel about 1150 to 1175 would be the next level of resistance. So he should look out for that. If you're unable to cross that, he should exit. Until then, it's a hold with about 990 to 1000 being a stop loss.
Okay, okay. All right. 1190 should be the stop loss.
1090.
1090 should be the stop loss. And the target, if you could just repeat that?
I would be looking at about 1150 to 1175.
1150. Okay, all right. Well, Mayank Jain now writes to us from Pune. He holds 10 shares of NTPC, which he's bought at around 200. He's a long-term investor, wants to know what to do, whether to hold or to sell at these current levels. So again, sitting on a profit, we're getting a lot of queries where people have made profits, so that's a good thing. But Manish, I'll come to you first on this. What would you recommend on NTPC?
Well, since he is put at a profit, I would again utilize a strategy of preserving capital. A stop loss of 300 is recommended. 395 to 400 can be the next target to look out for.
Okay. All right. And what about you, Astha? What would you recommend on the fundamentals of NTPC?
So results were out, and I think the results were good, not that bad. We were positive on the result front, except with that, what we are thinking positive about this counter now. They have a plan to list NTPC Green also, maybe October, November this year. The story broke out today itself. So I think that will be a major positive because they have a strong pipeline. This is the company which is meeting India's total 25% power requirement. So along with this, whatever future plan this company is having, it is infusing optimism in the company along with a decent set of numbers. So we are positive on this counter, recommending a hold. Maybe buying on dip strategy can also be applied to this counter. So if some dip come, then one can buy also. Ultimate price target can be set at around 415 to 420.
Okay. And any timeline for achieving that target?
Timeline can be set at around 3 to 4 months, maybe a quarter or so, if everything goes well with the markets at macro level.
Okay, all right, fair enough. 415 to 420 is the target, probably within a quarter odd. Remember that stock has done extremely well in the past 6 odd months. Well, Shruti Mishra now writes to us from Nasik. She wants to buy some renewable stock. She wants to know which stock she can buy right now. Well, Astha, over to you on this one. What would the portfolio consist of in terms of renewable stocks?
See, in renewable energy, Adani Green is looking strong to us. The way this company has posted strong side of numbers in the quarter gone by, that is Q4 of FY24, we are really positive on this counter. So one counter which is looking good to us in this space is Adani Green. Here the price target which we are recommending for this counter is around 2300 to 2400. So first is Adani Green, and secondly even Suzlon is also looking good to us. If we talk about this counter has also posted strong set of numbers. Maybe some exceptional losses may dent the bottom line, have dented the bottom line. But I think going ahead, this company is also well placed to cater the opportunities available in the sector. So Suzlon and Adani Green, these two counters are looking good to us in the renewable energy space. One can have a look on those counters.
Okay, all right. Would you have a call on these counters, Manish, Suzlon as well as Adani Green?
Well, considering I'm a chartist, it was open-ended for me just to talk about renewable stocks. So I kind of opened quite a few charts. Something that caught my attention was a Tata Power and a KPI Green. But then if you look at overall, all these stocks have run up over the last 6 months. So the overall view will continue being they look good. If you look at higher time frames like weeklies and monthly charts, they also continue looking good and robust. However, I would prefer that there should be some kind of a correction before we enter these stocks.
Okay, all right. Well, we need to take a short break, but the markets are doing extremely well today. We've been talking about a couple of these stocks such as PNB. So that stock is up around 2.6% at this point. Granules India is doing well. It's run up around 8% this year already. So it's up around 2.5%. MedPlus comes out with its numbers this week. It's up ahead of that. And Aster DM as well, ahead of its numbers, it's up around 2.5%. So doing well for the markets at this point in time. Well, we need to take a short break. More queries lined up on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, we still have with us Astha, Jain and Manish Hathiramani to answer all of your stock queries on a day where the markets are also doing extremely well. Those are the margins of Kirloskar Industries, which has improved around almost 300 basis points, so 14% compared to 11.3% year on year. As you can see, the stock has also turned into the green as we speak. Well, it's a lively market, but just take note of a couple of stocks such as Hindustan Zinc, which is down around 3% at this point. Remember, it's seen a huge run up just in the past month odd. It's up around 68%. It's a good play in terms of the silver prices, but that's seeing a little bit of a stock correction at this point in time. But we do have a lot of queries still lined up. We have Shalu Jain, who writes to us from New Delhi. She holds 15 shares of ITC, which is bought at around 150. So she's sitting on a very good profit there. She wants to know what to do, whether she can add more to her existing investment. Well, Astha, what would you recommend?
Recommending a hold for the possible price target of 475 to 480, as she wants to add on the existing investment. So my idea here is that wait for some more downside and then make an entry into this counter. Maybe 410 is the right level to enter into this counter. So talking about the fundamentals, whatever the result company has posted, there was a little miss on the revenue front, but their cigarette business is doing good because the volume growth of 2 to 4% was there, but the miss was from the agri and the paper business. However, the demerger of hotel business will also add to the value. So I think in the long run, this stock is again have a strong potential to move upwards. Recommending a hold as well as buying on dip strategy can also be applied. Ultimate price target can be set at around 475 to 480.
Okay, all right. And what about you, Manish? What would you recommend on ITC? What would your target be?
Well, Ekta, since we are into charting and statistical analysis, it's always about buying strength and selling weakness. ITC has been on a medium-term downtrend. And since she is sitting on profit, we understand that we will go into bullish terrain or a buy only above the levels of 450. Therefore, I would actually expect her to sell right now and only buy it when we cross the levels of 450, because until then we feel we can always take a U-turn from here and go down further.
Okay, all right. Well, we now have Riju Prasad, who writes to us from Mumbai, has an investment query, wants to know what to do if he should invest in auto ancillary stocks. He wants to know if he should buy Minda Corp and JBM Auto. Well, Astha, would these two be recommendations for you? And what would your recommendations be otherwise in the auto ancillary space if that's the case?
So JBM Auto is one stock which I can recommend buy at the present moment of the time. Purely on the basis of the results. Results were exceptionally well. If we talk about Minda Corp, the results were not that strong as compared to JBM Auto. So between these two stocks, yes, JBM Auto is looking good to us on the basis of the results. So 2400 is the price target which we can attribute to this counter. Recommending a buy on JBM Auto between these two counter with a price target of 2400.
Okay, all right. Any recommendations on both these stocks technically, Manish?
Yes, well, I go hand in hand with Ekta's view. Minda Corp continues to look sideways, no real fun over there. JBM Auto is a buy from my side as well. The stock has been sideways for some time and we have broken out of that range and have resumed the upward trajectory. The stock had a resistance level at 2110 to be specific, which we have crossed, and we should now be headed to 2500 levels.
Okay, all right. Well, we now have Manish, who writes to us from Mumbai, holds 100 shares of Kirloskar Brothers at 375 and 100 shares of Karnataka Bank at 80. He wants to know about the prospects of both of these investments. Well, Astha, let's go with you first. What would you recommend on both of them? Kirloskar Brothers at 375 and 100 shares of Karnataka Bank at 80.
Ekta, really sorry for that. I'm not tracking these two counters at present moment of the time, so maybe not in the right position to answer this query.
Okay, well, Manish, would you have a view on both of these counters?
Well, KTK is definitely a sell because we have kind of broken major support levels Therefore, he can exit it at current market levels. Kirloskar Brothers, I'm not too sure what is the acquisition price, but the overall trajectory continues to remain positive. 1200 to 1250 would be a recommended stop loss.
Okay, all right. Well, we have Chanukya, who now writes to us from New Delhi, holds 3,000 shares of Gujarat Pipavav port, which is bought at an average price of 174. So again, sitting on a profit there, and wants to know what to do, whether to hold or to sell for the longer term. Do you look at this stock, Astha?
We are recommending right now a hold on this counter. Maybe some sort of profit booking can also be applied to this counter, because today also it is into the pressure, because we are not very much optimistic about the kind of future prospect this company will be having, purely on the basis of the financials, because we are in a what we are thinking right now, that maybe some sort of margin pressure can be witnessed in this counter going ahead. So right now, maybe some sort of partial profit booking can also be recommended at this level, or a hold is also recommended, not a buying at this point of time.
Well, it's up around 80 odd percent in the past 12 months, plus 80%. So in the past 1 year. So Manish, any further upside on this one?
Well, we've gone sideways, 190 on the lower side, 225 on the upside. We've already tested both the levels twice. A break of 190 should be the stop loss. It will gain momentum only after we cross 225.
Okay, all right. Well, we now have Prithvi Raj, who writes to us from New Delhi, holds 100 shares of Aster DM Healthcare, which is bought at 289. He's asking if he can hold the shares for the longer term. Well, Aster DM at 289, numbers come out this week. Interesting, considering that it's only left with the India business. From that perspective, Astha, what's your perspective on Aster DM?
So numbers will be coming out tomorrow, I think, about this counter. And yes, talking about this counter, they have a strong expansion plan of adding around 1,750 beds in especially Kerala and Karnataka. So that will be a growth driver for the company. And this company is able to maintain their India margins at around 20%. That is operating profit margins at around 20%. So I suppose they will continue to maintain these sort of margins. And we are expecting a strong set of numbers also from this counter tomorrow. So yes, recommending a hold on this counter with a price target of 405 to 410.
Okay. And would you have a recommendation on the technicals, Manish, Aster DM, the hospital company?
Yes, Ekta. In the recent fall, we've made a good base around the 330, 340 levels. That, according to me, is the new stop loss for this stock. Given the technicals, I feel it has a potential to claw back to 500.
Okay, all right. Well, we have Shubhang, who now writes to us from Mumbai. He holds 50,000 shares of Easy Trip Planners at an average price of 45. He wants to know what to do. What are the future prospects of his investment? Well, we just spoke to the company today. Interestingly, they do have some write-offs with regards to GoAir, but they're quite bullish in terms of growth going into FY25, and competitive intensity is not something that they're worried about. Let's go with you, Manish, first on the technicals. What would you recommend?
Well, I feel here too we've gone sideways with so many better stocks available in the market. There's no point being in a bullish market and being stuck with a sideways stock. I would recommend an exit on this stock. We have a downward bias as well. Unless we don't close above the levels of 48, we won't move up. 40 is a strong support on the downside.
Okay, all right. We have Shivani Singh, who writes to us from New Delhi now. She holds 30 shares of Vodafone Idea, which she's bought at around 15 odd rupees. What are the prospects of her investment after the fresh fundraising? Well, Astha, do you think that there's further upside to go on Vodafone Idea? Maybe it would be a long-term bet from here on?
Yes, definitely. In fact, when OFS came, we had a coverage on this counter also. And right now, in which we have recommended subscribe to the FPO. So right now also we are positive on this counter. Ultimate price target can be set at around 17 to 17.5, maybe 18 at the higher level. So talking about this counter increased subscriber base, along with, their continuous expansion in the 4G space as well as 5G space, will definitely give a boost to their financials in the long term. Maybe in a short term, we can see some sort of volatility, or ARPUs can be some sort of issue to the company. But in the longer run, we think that company will be able to overcome all these issues, and hence we are recommending hold on this counter. Price target can be set at around 17 to 17.5.
Okay, all right. In terms of the technicals, Vodafone Idea, would you have a call, Manish?
Yes, Ekta, I'll go with a 1:1 risk is to reward. Very strong base formation at 12. Very good volumes chasing the stock as well. 12 rupees can be a good stop loss. 18 rupees can be a potential target.
Okay, 18 is the potential target. Any timeline on that?
I would give it a 3 to 6 month horizon.
Okay, 3 to 6 month horizon to get to the target of around 18 odd rupees for Vodafone Idea. Rajiv Sharma now writes to us from Mumbai. He holds 10 shares of Sudarshan Chemicals, which he's bought at around 400, so it's doubled. He wants to know his future prospects on this particular investment. Manish, let's start with you.
Well, we do have a concern, which was a gap that happened on the 21st of May, and we are closing into that gap. So what we can look at is a good risk is to reward strategy. If we break the levels of 700, he should exit the stock. Otherwise, he can hold for a target of 900.
Okay, and what about you, Astha, on Sudarshan Chemicals, fundamentally?
Fundamentally, it is looking good because 70% or more than 70% growth has this company has shown the 70% growth in their bottom line, especially in the Q4 of FY24. So that is looking very attractive. Apart from that, the valuations are also reasonable. If we compare it to the industry PE multiple of around 24-25, the valuation are somewhere standing at around 15 PE multiple. So again, looking good to us. So I think it's a strong counter, and recommending a hold. Ultimate price target can be set at around 900 rupees.
Okay, ultimate target price 900 odd rupees for Sudarshan Chemicals. Well, Astha as well as Manish, we're going to let you go on that note. Thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us and giving us all of that perspective. Well, for the markets, it's there's no complaints coming in at all. We are above 23,000. We are off the high point of the day, but just marginally by a couple of points. A lot of the PSU banks are firing away today. So IOB is up 9.5%. UCO Bank is up 7.3% at this point. So Central Bank of India, Bank of Maharashtra, PNB, all of these stocks are really powering ahead at this point. Good gains coming in for a lot of these counters. On the downside, just watch out for a couple of these counters such as Spark, which came out with its numbers as well. So Spark has lost a bit of ground. It's down around 2%, just about testing 218 odd rupees for that particular counter. So that stock is under pressure. But it seems to be a very healthy market. Advanced decline ratio is still on the declining side, but marginally. So let's see whether it changes in favor of the advances in the last 1 hour of trade. That's all the time that we have in the show, but do remember to email us your questions. We'll address them with our experts. Closing bell up next.